Hey everyone, might as well since I have this all set up. I don't normally do back-to-back videos, but let's do one about how and why it's important to actually trust your mistrust issues. So, one of the most common things or reasons for breakups, divorces, or issues in relationships is that jealousy, that competitiveness, or that mistrust. And I see this almost every day with the people I'm coaching and the sessions that I'm having, where there's one person usually in the relationship who is more insecure than the other and is sort of like checking on the person and like, where are you, who are you with, what are you doing, who are you texting? And they feel like they're the crazy ones. Usually this starts to happen when the power starts to shift between one person and the other. And what I mean by the power shifting is it's when one person starts to look up to the other person too much. Okay? Now, this power shift can happen for a number of reasons. It can be because maybe you've lost your job, or you've stopped focusing on your goals or your own life, or your training, or you get injured and you can't go to the gym, or you can't. It can happen for many, many different reasons where suddenly you lose focus on your goals in your life, and your relationship or the person you're with takes up that space in that vacuum. So you start to become too dependent on that person for your happiness and your sense of security and comfort and love and happiness and all of that stuff. And then when that happens, because you're becoming more dependent on this person, this insecurity can arise because you feel like if that person, and it's totally justified, because now you shouldn't be that dependent on this person for your life. But now that you are, you want this person to be more stable and more dependable, okay? Now, it's important to know, as before I go on too deep into this video, that I believe from everything I've seen, from the hundreds of people I've worked with, from all the life experiences I've personally had and the people I know, that 8 or even as high as 9 times out of 10, your mistrust is justified. Your jealousy or your insecurity, let's not say insecurity because that kind of goes into what I was just talking about. If you lose touch with your life, yourself, if you lose that connection with yourself, or if you lose yourself, that can create insecurity. But let's keep these two separate. Mistrust, and insecurity. Yes, they're linked, but they're also they can be two different things. So going back to the trust, 9 times out of 10, it's justified. We want to be in a relationship where we can depend on someone. Instinctually, biologically, jealousy exists for a reason. And when we have that mistrust and that, uh-oh, something's not right, who's she with, what's she doing, or what's he doing, or what's he up to, or why is he hanging out with these, why do I feel this way? Like, oh, I know society tells me that it's okay, or I should feel okay with him or her hanging out with the opposite sex without me, or having friends of the opposite sex without me. Society tells me that I should be open-minded and chilled and cool, and we see this as like a modern way of thinking or whatever, okay? And we should be okay with it. But no, in balance, that should be in balance, because most breakups and relationships are happening because of this issue. And the funny thing is that a lot of people keep backups and they keep their options open and they are in a relationship, but because they don't feel secure in the relationship, their way of either getting the power or getting that person to like them more, look up at them more, is by creating insecurity in that person. How? By keeping their options open, by having backups. This happens a lot. A girl will be with a guy in a relationship and she'll have backups. She'll keep her options open. Or the other way around, a guy will be with a girl, but he'll also have backups and keep his options open. It's either because he doesn't feel like she's the one, or it could be that she also doesn't feel like he's the one. So this happens when you feel like you don't feel 100% convinced that that person's the one for you. So you'll have backups, you'll have your options open. It could be because that person's not committing fully. But the funny thing is that more often than not, both people are not committing to each other, and they're both creating more problems by having backups and keeping their options open. So it's just this terrible, I guess, vicious cycle. And it can get pretty complicated, as I'm sure you guys can imagine. So going back to, creating that insecurity, or, it can be subconscious, as I said. Sometimes we'll create insecurity in another person to elevate ourselves. What I mean by that is that because, let's say, you're with someone, and this is really the most common scenario, is that you'll be with someone who's very sure of themselves. What I mean by that is they have their life together. They have their goals. They are busy. They have their gym. They have their work. They have their life together, and they're on a great path. And then let's say someone else comes along and that person is getting on with their life, but this person that's come in now into the relationship wants more of their attention, wants more of their time. Why? Because that person doesn't have their life together as much. So they want more of that stability, that security. They want that attention. And if they don't get it, this doesn't have to be a conscious thing. Again, this can happen often very subconsciously, because they're the ones looking up at that person, and that person's more on the pedestal, like, oh, I'm so attracted to him or her. She's always busy and doing her life and has, all this great stuff. That person maybe isn't necessarily like out dating around or having backups. No, they're dedicated to their relationship. But there is this power inequality, let's say, where the one person who doesn't have their life in order so much is looking up and putting that person up on the pedestal. So what they will do to shift that power is, and again, keep it in mind that it can be often subconscious, unconscious, not done on purpose. It's like a survival mechanism. They will start to flirt or have backups. They won't call it backups, or they won't call it flirting. They'll say, oh, I just like to hang out with, I have some friends who are guys, or I have some friends who are girls, whatever it is. And that's how they'll get this person who is focused on their life and their whatever it is. Now they've got your attention, their attention. So now the attention's coming off and coming onto this person who is basically out of their insecurities and their mistrust, or not necessarily mistrust, but their insecurities. Now they've gotten your attention, and now they start being put up on the pedestal, and now this person has left his or her goals and his or her life, and now is looking up at this person. And now this person feels powerful, and is getting attention, and they have figured out that, oh, in order to get this love from this person, or attention, or power, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And what's that? It's creating this mistrust, and, could be flirting with other guys. It could be even seeing other guys. I had a client just a week ago who, his girlfriend he was constantly catching her seeing other guys, and they were together for 5-6 years, and she would constantly tell him that, no, it's not happening, and it's your mistrust issues, and he was just constantly catching her, and yeah, she drove him to stalk and and all this. So it's terrible, right? But this can become a habit, this way of life. And the funny thing is that when this starts to fail, as it eventually will, and then a breakup happens, and this person's like, fuck that, I'm going to go off and do my own thing now. Well, all the people that this person was, flirting with or dating with or seeing or having an affair with, suddenly those affairs and the dating and the flirting and the hanging out with the guys or the girls or whatever is no longer interesting. Why? Because this person actually wants to be in a relationship. So, as you can see, it's very complicated and it can get really crazy and messy, right? So that's why we always talk about the importance of self-love. Keep yourself happy, focus on your goals. It's like huskies, for a while I wanted to get huskies. This is 5 or 6 years ago. And, reading up about dogs, and huskies are more intelligent dogs. So you're like, why is he bringing up huskies? Well, if you want to get a husky, they recommend get them in pairs, because if you get one husky on its own, they're so intelligent that they become mischievous if they get bored, right? And that's this, right? When this person can't entertain themselves with their goals and their gratitude and activities in life, when this person's not driven, and has a journey in their path, then what they're going to do is they're going to become mischievous, because they're still super intelligent, just like huskies are, but they need to create drama. They will create some sort of distraction to get this person to feed their need for attention, right? So be very mindful of that. It's sad that I see this all the time, almost every day, where people are like, they're like, oh, I messed up the relationship, I had trust issues, I was always jealous, it's because of me, and then I have to correct them and be like, it's not because of you, and through work, through sessions, we uncover and realize that all the jealousy, all the mistrust was justified. There were good reasons for it. So trust your mistrust, or at least don't believe what you're hearing potentially from the person you're with, who could possibly be the one who's actually more insecure than you, and their behavior is trying to get you to pay attention to them more. It's their way of getting you to value them more. Rather than raising their own value by working hard and, getting involved with goals and, just training themselves, go learn a martial arts, go learn a new language, go learn dancing, go learn how to cook, go do cooking classes, go back to school, start a business, whatever it is, rather than strengthening themselves, they're basically trying to weaken someone else so that their value goes up, right? It's sort of my definition of what an asshole is. Cool people in my book are, we lift each other up. They strengthen each other. They're like, we try to help each other. Like, yeah, let's lift each other up. Let's make each other all better. Rising tides lift all ships is a really cool saying that I love. Whereas assholes aren't able to build themselves up. They don't want to do the work. So instead, they're going to pull people down. They're going to constantly feel in this state of jealousy and competitiveness. And, they feel as though they don't have the ability to be cool or be strong or have a life that is, worth loving. And it's them that they're supposed to be loving their life, right? It's either because they were spoiled growing up as children, whether they're a girl or a guy who was spoiled by their dad or by their mom, and now everything in their life is boring. I see that a lot. There's a lot of people who were raised spoiled, so spoiled, given everything they wanted, so that now they're in their 18s and 19s or older, and nothing interests them, so they're just bored, and their boredom, as I said, just like the huskies, we're intelligent. Humans are intelligent. We need to be challenged. We need to be kept busy. And boredom isn't something that you're going to have for the rest of your life. It will if you don't do anything about it, but you're going to have to spend a year or 6 months to train yourself, to get back into working hard. Go do jiu-jitsu, go do martial arts, go do kickboxing. Those are addicting, exciting ways to train yourself to work hard and to be disciplined and to appreciate little things in life. All right? So the point of the video again is that, hey, you may not realize this, but your jealousy and mistrust issues may not be issues at all, and they may be actually things to be grateful for. And to be thankful that, hey, your relationship got ruined because something inside you was trying to save you, was trying to say, hey, get out of this. Something wrong here. This person is not to be trusted. You're not going to be able to have a family with this person. And if you're able to, if you're going through this similar situation, you've gone through a breakup, well, be grateful you didn't have kids, or be grateful you didn't get married or have like houses and stuff like that, right? That's where that mistrust was trying to do. It was trying to signal to you, hey, get out, something's not right. And our minds are amazing. Many years ago, I realized, like I was taking 2 big trash bins with the rolling wheels from outside of the garage back into the garage. And I did it without even thinking, beautifully. And I thought, wow, there's a lot of things that we can do without thinking about. Our heart is beating without us being in control of it. Our lungs are breathing. There are certain body functions that we're not able to control for a reason, but they're incredibly complex things that are happening, activities that are happening that are out of our control. And one of them is that feeling that we get of insecurity. There's that, something's not right. And the way I look at it is, it's like our body's done this complex mathematical equation, and maybe it took a year, or maybe it took a few months for that result to come out, and that result is that feeling of insecurity or mistrust or jealousy. You feel jealous, and then you feel, oh, there's something wrong with me. I'm a jealous person. What's wrong with me? No. There's something inside your body, something in your mind that's carried out a series of hundreds, maybe thousands of calculations based on the behavior of the person you're with, based on the things they say or they do, even their micro expressions. And like I said, like your heart beating or lungs breathing, you're not aware of all those micro calculations that have taken place, but they're happening. It's your instinct. And then your instinct pops out this feeling of, something's not right. And then you feel like it's your insecurity or your mistrust or your jealousy that has created the breakup. And that person is like now said to you, oh, I've had enough. I can't stand your jealousy or your insecurity anymore. The truth is, you're the one who dumped them. You're the one who knew something was wrong. And then it was your behavior, yes, your bad behavior in the relationship that pulled you apart. Because for some reason, and again, it's hard to just put in a short 20-minute video here, because it's very deep and every person is different and every relationship is unique, but for some reason, your body or your mind was saying, this isn't the person for me. And then you sabotaged it. You ruined it, you wrecked it for a good reason. Maybe that you have some angels protecting you. Maybe you have some good people in your life praying for you, looking after you. Or maybe just deep inside you, you have a good compass. You have a good guide inside you. And you just knew that there's just something that's not right here. And yes, it can be hard if the person you're with you get attracted to them physically, or maybe they could be hot, or they could be rich, or they could be whatever, and you're like, yeah, but I don't want to lose this person, but something's not right. I'm getting destroyed here by this relationship. This relationship is just bringing someone who's not me out of me. And then you start to behave like this person that isn't you. And that's like one of the things we hate the most, and it's our way of pushing us out of this relationship we're in. Okay? So, more often than not, trust your mistrust. Trust your insecurities. Trust your jealousy. It's happening for a reason. Okay? So I hope this video helps in some way. I hope I haven't left anything important out. I probably have. I always upload these and I'm like, damn it, I forgot to mention this. And to any of you out there who are sleeping to these videos, like I get a lot of emails from folks saying, oh, thank you, I sleep to your videos. Sorry for shouting damn it so loud a second ago. All right? So happy afternoon, have an awesome morning, have an awesome evening, and if you're sleeping right now, then have amazing dreams. You're super powerful being and you can accomplish anything you desire and want to. And if you're feeling down, here's your little short toolkit, okay? This won't last, because it won't. I have felt super down in my life. You know, I've felt super up. We go up and down. That's life, okay? So this won't last. Number two, it happens to everyone. All of us, whether you're Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie or Bill Clinton or whoever, Obama, we all go through this stuff. All of us, right? So, number one, it's not going to last, so be patient. Could be a few hours you're going to feel like shit, but then you're going to feel totally different the next day. It's called the pendulum. Start to become aware of your swing, your pendulum. Try to bring it into balance, into the center. The more center you are, it means you're having less highs and less lows. And yes, it means you might have to sacrifice how excited you get about things. Okay? It's up to you. If you want to get super excited about things, it's fine too. You're going to have to learn to meditate more and observe those things and not identify with that excitement so much. Just observe the excitement. Allow it to be there. Okay, so number one, be patient. This will not last. Number two, this happens to everyone. You're not alone. Okay? Those are the most important two. All right, for now. So adios. I hope this video helps, and sending everybody out there all the very best. Talk to you all soon. Bye.